Aid officials say about 200,000 people have fled the capital by bus or ferry or on foot, some planning to stay with relatives elsewhere in Haiti. Others, well, their plans are less certain. They just kind of want to get out of the city, as Karl Penhaul found out. He joins me now. There are a lot of people just trying to get out, right?
Really is. I mean, there were a lot of people that we saw today heading towards the coastal city of Jeremy down in the southwest. There seem to be a lot of family ties here, a lot of kind of rural connections, so they just want to get out in the countryside. I wouldn't say so much that they want to build a new life, but they really just want to find some way to survive, but pushing, fighting for seats. You know, it's 90-some degrees outside, and then on those buses, it's absolutely boiling inside. So you can imagine the kids are just crying. Everybody's getting bent out of shape, and the buses are in such appalling condition. Right. You know, they might be sitting on the bus for 4 or 5 hours while they do repairs to axles and everything else. And
until they get some sort of large mobilization to get people working on rebuilding, I mean, there's not a lot of jobs to be had. Businesses aren't open. People are just there's a lot of people just kind of hanging around.
Exactly. I mean, one of the ladies that I met today, she said, well, you know, one of the reasons I'm going is that there are no jobs here. I worked for a kindergarten, and that kindergarten is no longer here. In the second part of her sentence, she then added that her 5-year-old and 1.5-year-old were crushed by the building when she was away. And when I asked her, well, did you have time to bury her before you're leaving? And she simply says, jeté. I threw them away.
She said she threw her kids away.
She just tossed her kids away, and that I think, you know, they are fleeing, but at some point they're going to have to come to terms not only with where they're trying to build their new life, but with these emotions as well. Although I put to this lady, you know, why don't you Haitians cry? Because we haven't really seen, you know, we have seen some immediate outpourings of grief, but not a lot of long-term outpourings. I said, why don't you Haitians cry? She said, there's no point. They're dead already. That's over and done with.
I think there's been generations of suffering on this island, and we know there have, you know, from dictatorships and killings at night, and people who have no power really have absolutely no power, and there's this kind of resignation almost at times of people just kind of throw up their shoulders and say, you know what, this is the way it's always been.
I think it's a really interesting issue, and you know, I get that, and I think that's part of the explanation. I can't believe that's the whole part of the situation. Can you imagine a mother saying in any culture, I threw them away?
Yeah. It's I'll never forget being at the cemetery on the second day of this, and you know, families bringing their loved ones, and there was just no place to put them, and putting them in crypts, and anyway, a lot of things which are just kind of eye-opening, and I think are going to take a lot of time for the Haitians to kind of wrap their minds around what has happened. I mean, I think the shock is still kind of very present.
Absolutely, yeah.
All right, Karl, thanks very much. Up next, so many children left